More than 30 years ago, in late 80s, I was a missionary priest working in a remote parish in Ghana, West Africa. Of course, it was not easy for me to live in Africa for 8 years, coming from Japan. But I say with confidence, I had a wonderful time in Ghana. In late 1980s, economy was down. Even in a difficult economic situation and all kinds of life problems related to poverty and sicknesses, our people who gathered at the Sunday masses were always with great and beautiful smiles. So once I asked them why they are so happy and full of smiles despite all these life-related problems, and they answered me that they have Ghana magic. Wow, it is a magic. Well, the magic, Ghana magic, is not a magic as such, but it is a conviction created by the solidarity to help each other. In Ghana at that time, people were sure that in times of difficulties, someone would come and help them. No one would be forgotten by others. They were confident that they would not be left behind, and someone would surely come and surely care for them. That conviction was the magic. Solidarity creates hope for life, even in the midst of suffering. Solidarity and compassion would be the key to protect our human life. It is not money, it is not fame, but solidarity and compassion which produces hope for life. Pope Benedict XVI pointed out in his encyclical Spe Salvi that suffering is a force that creates hope and is an essential element for humans to live and realize the value of God. Our sufferings reminds us of the fact that God Himself had suffered because He loved us. Out of His love for us, even today, God continues to walk with us in our sufferings. We travel together with Jesus Christ in sufferings because togetherness creates hope. That is why synodality is all about creating hope for life together. We are God's people on a journey together. Just as God chose the Israelites as people of God in the times of Old Testament, the Second Vatican Council teaches us that the Church is people of God. We are not saved as individuals, but invited for salvation as a people, and that within that community there is salvation for each one of us. We, the Church, as people of God, are missioned into modern society. We continue our journey like the Israelites who journeyed through the wilderness. We are together with Jesus Christ as our leader, following the law of love. We'll continue our journey till we reach our goal, the kingdom of God. Therefore, our life as Christian is a journey that is always moving forward, always facing new challenges. Time moves forward. Time never goes backward nor stops. Our journey is just like that. We always move forward in our journey. Jesus also moves on. Jesus never preached gospel from one place, but He preaches while He moves forward. Jesus is always in journey. While preaching, Jesus continued His journey toward the glory of His passion, death on the cross, and resurrection from the dead. He could have stayed at one permanent place where He could get praises from people, but Jesus did not rest on His glory. He moved on. He was not content to remain in the land of fame and security, but continued His journey to proclaim His gospel. His journey was always subject to criticism due to lack of understanding and always is full of challenges and sufferings. But undaunted, Jesus continued to move forward on his journey to continue to witness his own good news. We, the people of God who are trying to live in imitation of Jesus, continue our journey in this modern world, being as a community witnesses of the gospel. Our journey together is indeed our commitment to the mission. We are missionaries journeying together. Through our togetherness in the journey as a community, we want to be witnesses of unity in diversity that brings us to salvation. On the second Sunday of Lent, the first reading was from the book of Genesis, telling us the story of Abraham's testimony of his faith through the trials God put him through. God had promised to multiply his descendants as many as the stars that shine in the darkness, and yet God makes an unreasonable request to sacrifice his only son Isaac, whom God had finally given to him. Abraham, in the midst of making this critical choice, out of his trust in God, made the decision to walk into unknown territory that his own wisdom and knowledge could not comprehend. Instead of remaining in his current stability and security, Abraham chose to follow God's command to move forward into unknown. Abraham's life was not a life of stability, but a life of constant challenges as he continued his journey. God appreciated and blessed Abraham's life. Our faith in God calls us to embark on a journey of everlasting challenges. On the second Sunday of Lent, Gospel of Mark tells us the story of transfiguration of Jesus. Peter, having witnessed the glory of God and heard his voice, "This is my beloved Son, hear him," proposes to build 3 temporary huts, hoping to remain in the radiance of glory of God. While Peter wanted to be staying in the glory, Jesus continued his journey. We are always invited to join him in this journey full of new challenges. Amidst the many challenges of modern society, we try to live out our faith. However, it is not easy to live our faith in the midst of the violence against life that continues with no end, such as in Ukraine, in Myanmar, and in the Holy Land. In the midst of this widespread violence, a tendency is to allow violence in order to stop violence. But we cannot stop violence by violence. It creates more violence and destroys our lives, which is a precious gift from God. Despite of this negative situation against human life, we continue our mission, proclaiming that peace is possible. We have to protect human life. We should not exclude anyone, and we are to work together in mutual help and support. Sometimes we are just considered as crazy people talking about dreams, or sometimes we are considered dangerous to the society having non-realistic ideology. When we face such negative reaction against our preaching gospel, we will be tempted to just hide behind the popular ideas among a majority of the society, even at the cost of our freedom, and keep quiet. But if we stop facing our challenges, we will lose our chance to create hope for life among people, especially people who are in danger of death and vulnerable situation. We cannot be indifferent to the cry of vulnerable people. We have to be brave enough to face these challenges and move on to proclaim gospel like our leader, Jesus Christ. It is not an easy decision to make alone, which is why it is important that people of God as a whole bear witnesses together in this society. Supporting one another we must strive as a whole community to speak and witness to the gospel. We are a people of God who are not looking for comfort, but are moving forward, always facing challenges. Even when we do not find hope, we should not remain in a place of comfort, but should continue to walk, challenging ourselves with courage. Only through working together and supporting each other, we could create hope for life. Together, supporting each other as a synodal church and as a people of God who live and walk in the modern world, let us continue to walk with courage.